Unit number 3, Ascent of sap. In this video, we are going to deal with this topic, that is ascent of sap in plants. In this unit, we are going to discuss regarding following points. 1. Introduction and definition of ascent of sap. Second, transpiration pull or cohesion tension theory. 3. Evidences in support of transpiration pull theory. And 4. That is factors affecting ascent of sap. लास्ट युनिटमध्ये आपण डिस्कस केलं होतं ॲब्सॉर्प्शन ऑफ वॉटर. प्लांट रूट ॲब्सॉर्ब वॉटर ॲज वेल ॲज द मिनरल्स डिझॉल्ड इन वॉटर. प्लांट्स रूट दोन्हीही मिनरल्स आणि वॉटर्स जे आहे ते दोन्ही ॲब्सॉर्ब करतात. अँड दे डू नॉट स्टोअर वॉटर इनसाइड द रूट. दे सर्क्युलेट और pass water to every part of the plant. Then how plants circulate this water or uplift this water and minerals from root level up to the shoot apex or up to the leaves? This is we are going to discuss in this topic, that is ascent of sap. So let's start with the definition of ascent of sap. First point, plant absorb water and minerals from soil through roots. The absorbed water and minerals are supplied to various plant parts like branches, flowers and fruits for their growth and development. And thus the water along with dissolved nutrient is lifted up from the roots and reaches the shoot tip. So this upliftment of water and minerals from root to the shoot of plant is known as ascent of sap. And the water with dissolved mineral nutrient is known as sap. The process जी काही आहे वॉटर आणि मिनरल्सला प्लांट बॉडीमध्ये रूटमधून शूट अपेक्सपर्यंत किंवा लीफमध्ये पोहोचवणं अगेन्स्ट द ग्रॅव्हिटेशनल फोर्स, this process is called as a ascent of sap. सॅप मीन्स वॉटर विथ डिझॉल्व मिनरल्स. वॉटरमध्ये जर काही मिनरल्स डिझॉल्व असतील आणि ती वॉटर जर रूट ॲब्सॉर्ब करत असेल आणि सर्क्युलेट अपलिफ्ट करत असेल तर त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, सॅप. आणि अपलिफ्टमेंट ऑफ दिस सॅप इज नोन ॲज ascent of sap. The process of ascent of sap circulates or distributes the required nutrients needed for their development to all parts of plants. बरोबर आहे. असेंट ऑफ सॅप जो आहे, सॅप अपलिफ्टमेंट झाल्यामुळे काय होतं तर प्लांट पार्ट्सना ज्या ज्या न्यूट्रिएंट्सची गरज असते ते न्यूट्रिएंट डिस्ट्रीब्यूट केले जातात किंवा सप्लाय केले जातात थ्रू द प्रोसेस ऑफ असेंट ऑफ सॅप. अँड द असेंट ऑफ सॅप टेक्स प्लेस अगेन्स्ट द ग्रॅव्हिटेशनल फोर्स अँड दस मस्ट रिक्वायर अ व्हेरी स्ट्रॉंग फोर्स. ऑफकोर्स असेंट ऑफ सॅप जर ग्रॅव्हिटेशन फोर्सच्या विरुद्ध दिशेने अपलिफ्टमेंट जर वॉटरची होती आहे तर इट रिक्वायर्स अ स्ट्रॉंग फोर्स फॉर अपलिफ्टमेंट, राईट. द असेंट ऑफ सॅप इन टॉलेस्ट ट्रीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड लाईक रेडवूड ट्री, tall conifers, eucalyptus, which are more than 100 meters in height, is in fact a daunting task for plants. ऑफकोर्स सॉईलमधून ॲब्सॉर्ब केलेले मिनरल्स अँड न्यूट्रिएंट्स विथ वॉटर जे काही मीटर उंच असलेल्या ट्रीजच्या टिपपर्यंत किंवा शूट टिपपर्यंत पोहोचवणं हे एक अमेझिंग फिजिओलॉजिकल फंक्शन आहे. अँड टू अंडरस्टँड दिस फेनॉमेनॉन, this was a challenge for plant physiologists for many years, and even today the process of ascent of sap has not been explained satisfactorily. So this process of ascent of sap includes two main aspects. First of all, path of ascent of sap, that is in which cellular pathway ascent of sap happens, and secondly, mechanism of ascent of sap. ॲक्च्युली सॅपचा जो काही मेकॅनिझम आहे तो कसा होतो, ठीक आहे. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ पाथ ऑफ असेंट ऑफ सॅप. The upward translocation of water and minerals mainly takes place through xylem tissue. Already we have discussed regarding tissue system in which xylem is responsible for conduction and translocation of water, as well as phloem is responsible for conduction of food. ठीक है. So xylem tissue is mainly responsible for translocation of water. Many workers have accepted that xylem is the main path for ascent of sap. The xylem tissue consists of different elements, for example xylem vessels, xylem tracheids, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers, which are shown in this slide. Look at the slide. These are long elongated tube-like vessel-like structures which are having pits on their wall, and they are ideally suited for the ascent of sap from root tip to shoot tip of the plant body. हे जे काही xylem elements आहेत, togetherly they form a xylem strand inside the plant body from root up to the shoot apex and up to the leaf, and they are responsible for the circulation or translocation of sap or water and minerals throughout the plant body. The xylem tissue form ideal conducting strands or tubes in plant body, and these tubes are continuous and very rigid. हे जे काही झायलेम स्ट्रँड्स आहेत प्लांट बॉडीमध्ये ते नेहमी रिजिड असतात, स्ट्रॉंग असतात. आणि तुम्ही कदाचित ऑब्झर्व केलं असेल की लीफमध्ये सुद्धा तुम्हाला एक मिडरीब बघायला मिळते आणि छोट्या छोट्या स्मॉल व्हेन्स बघायला मिळतात. अँड दीज व्हेन्स अँड मिडरीब आर नथिंग बट द झायलेम स्ट्रँड्स. ओके, अँड दीज आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर transfer or distribution of water throughout the leaf as well as in throughout the plant. The water and mineral absorbed by the root hairs from soil passes through epiblema, that is epidermis, into the cortical cell. सगळ्यात सुरुवातीला वॉटर जे आहे तर इपिडर्मल रिजनमध्ये रूट हेअर्स ॲब्सॉर्ब करून घेतात आणि इपिडर्मल रिजनमध्ये काय करतात तर पास करतात. फ्रॉम दिस इपिडर्मल रिजन इट पासेस इन टू द कॉर्टिकल सेल्स, म्हणजे की कॉर्टेक्स रिजन जो इपिडर्मिसच्या आतमध्ये असतो तिथे मग वॉटर पास होतं. फ्रॉम द कॉर्टेक्स इट रिचेस द एंडोडर्मिस. एंडोडर्मिस इज द इनरमोस्ट लेअर ऑफ कॉर्टेक्स. कॉर्टिकल रिजनमधून ते एंडोडर्मिसपर्यंत सॅप जो आहे तो पास होतो. अँड फ्रॉम द एंडोडर्मिस इट मूव्स इन टू द पेरिसायकल थ्रू द पॅसेज सेल्स अँड फायनली एंटर्स इन टू द झायलेम टिश्यू. फ्रॉम झायलेम द वॉटर अँड मिनरल आर अपलिफ्टेड टू शूट अँड रिचेस द लीव्स. दिस complete journey or translocation of water and minerals is described as the path of ascent of sap. Look at the slide. The figure 3.3 shows a path of ascent of sap in which soil, water and mineral, that is sap, is firstly absorbed by root hairs and then it is passes through endodermis, from endodermis to pericycle, pericycle to xylem tissue, and from xylem tissue to xylem strand, and xylem strand circulates and uplifts this water to root, shoot tip and leaves. Or in other way, this sap is absorbed by root hairs and forwarded to epiblema or epidermal cells. From this epidermal cells it is passes to inner cells, that is cortical region cells, and from cortical region the innermost cell of cortical region is called as a endodermis. From endodermis it is passes to pericycle, and from pericycle it passes to the xylem tissue, and from xylem tissue it comes into the xylem strand, and through this xylem strand the water or the sap is circulated or uplifted into the shoot tip and leaves. Now look at the diagrammatic representation of path of water and minerals. Starting from bottom, where soil, water and mineral, that is sap, is present in contact with root hairs. So these root hair absorb this sap and passes this into the epidermal cells. From epidermal cells it is passes through the cortex region, which is the inner region of root. From this cortex region it is passes to the innermost region of cortex, that is called as a endodermis, and from this endodermis it comes into the xylem. And now this xylem tissue forms a strand, which is a long elongated tube like structure, or this is a ideal conducting strand which is found all over the body of plant, in the stem, branches, petiole of leaf, and inside the leaf in the form of midrib and small veins. This strand holds water and as well as uplift this sap and circulates to the each and every part of the plant. Look at the diagram where from the xylem strand water uplifted up to the petiole, from petiole of leaf, and from petiole of leaf it comes into the leaf, and in the leaf it is circulated, the sap is circulated all over the leaf or to each and every cell inside the leaf with the help of veins, and veins are nothing but the small xylem strands. Okay, and then this water and sap utilized for different functions, and also some water is lost through the stomatal transpiration. So this is all about the path followed by sap during the process ascent of sap. Okay, now we will discuss regarding the second aspect regarding ascent of sap, that is mechanism. What is the mechanism of ascent of sap? The ascent of sap in plant is well explained with the help of transpiration pull theory, or it is also called as a cohesion tension theory. This theory was proposed by an Irish botanist Henry H. Dixon and physicist John Joly in 1894. Is variously known as Dixon and Joly's theory of cohesion, or cohesion tension theory, or transpirational pull theory. It is the only theory of ascent of sap which is widely accepted and fully supported by experimental evidences. This theory has a sound basis and has faced no objection at all, as well as many scientists like Rayner, Curtis, Clark, Bonner, Gilstone, Kramer, Hamill, Leavitt have strongly supported and confirmed that ascent of sap in plants occurs through the mechanism of transpiration pull. So let's see what is the transpiration pull theory. Let's discuss one by one the following important features of this theory. First of all, water molecules have a very strong mutual force of attraction, that is cohesive force, and this force is very high, that is up to 350 atmosphere, and because of this the water column will never break and remain unbreakable even when subjected to disturbance. सी वॉटर मॉलिक्यूलचं एक कॅरेक्टर आहे की त्यांच्यामध्ये जे काही मॉलिक्युल्स आहेत, वॉटर मॉलिक्युल्स आहेत, वेगवेगळे H2O मॉलिक्युल्स आहेत, त्यांच्यामध्ये एक स्ट्रॉंग फोर्स असतो, दॅट इज कॉल्ड ॲज अ कोहेसिव्ह फोर्स, आणि ह्या फोर्समुळे वॉटर मॉलिक्यूल आहे तो एक सलग असा मॉलिक्यूल तयार होतो, ज्याच्यामध्ये कितीही डिस्टर्बन्स आणला तर त्याच्यामध्ये कुठल्याही प्रकारचं ब्रेकेज आपल्याला बघायला मिळत नाही. सेकंडली, similarly, there is a very strong force of attraction between water molecule and the wall of xylems. This force is known as a adhesive force, and due to this phenomenon of adhesion, water column remain held in the lumen of capillaries. जसं वॉटर मॉलिक्युल्सच्या मध्ये असलेल्या अट्रॅक्शन फोर्स जो आहे, कोहेसिव्ह फोर्स आहे, त्याच्यामुळे वॉटर अनब्रेकेबल मॉलिक्यूल फॉर्ममध्ये आपल्याला बघायला मिळतं. तसंच वॉटर मॉलिक्यूल आणि झायलेम स्ट्रँड जे आहे, जे काही झायलेमची लुमेन आहे किंवा स्पेस आहे, तर त्या स्पेसमध्ये झायलेम आणि वॉटर मॉलिक्यूल यांच्यामध्ये सुद्धा एक फोर्स आपल्याला बघायला मिळतो, त्याला आपण म्हणतो अधेसिव्ह फोर्स. ठीक आहे. सो ड्यू टू दीज टू कॅरेक्टर्स और दीज टू फोर्सेस, अधेसिव्ह फोर्स अँड कोहेजन फोर्स, अ लॉंग अनब्रेकेबल कॉलम ऑफ वॉटर इज हेल्ड इनसाइड द झायलेम टिश्यू or inside the xylem strand, which is present all over the plant body, or present inside the plant body from root to shoot apex or leaf apex. So due to cohesion, water column in xylem tissue remains intact and continuous from root tip to shoot tip and mesophyll cells of the leaves. On the other hand, there is a continuous and very heavy water loss takes place through the stomata during transpiration. लीफ सरफेसवरती ट्रान्सपिरेशनमुळे खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात वॉटर लॉस ॲट द सेम टाइम चालू असतो. सो दिस वॉटर लॉस create a suction or a pulling force. It is known as a transpirational pull. The value of transpirational pull force is very high, and the transpirational pull or tension created in leaf is transmitted through a continuous column of water up to root tips, and so This force of transpiration pull then uplifts the water and minerals from soil to shoot continuously to any height of the plants. Thus, the water column in the xylem tissue is under tension due to transpiration pull, and because of the value of this force developed is very high, it indicates the ability of this force to cause ascent of sap even in the tallest plants. सो प्लांटमध्ये एका बाजूला झायलेम स्ट्रँडमध्ये अनब्रेकेबल वॉटर कॉलम जो आहे तो कोहेजन आणि अधेजन फोर्समुळे मेंटेन केला जातो आणि दुसऱ्या बाजूला लीफ सरफेस वरती जे काही ट्रान्सपिरेशनची प्रोसेस चालू आहे त्याच्यामुळे लीफ सरफेसला म्हणजे कॉलमच्या टिपला सक्शन प्रेशर किंवा पुल प्रेशर क्रिएट केलं जातं आणि ड्यू टू दिस ट्रान्सपिरेशन पुल ऑर दिस सक्शन टेन्शन द कॉलम इज मूव्ह अपवर्ड and so the upliftment of sap occurs, and this is due to transpiration pull, cohesion and transmittance of tension togetherly. That's why this theory is called as a transpirational pull theory or cohesion tension theory.